Welcome to the Cabral HouseCall. I'm Stephen Cabral, board-certified naturopathic doctor, and today we're answering your questions on a Weight Loss Wednesday after having just gone through on our last show how to rethink your ideal body. So a lot of people believe that they really need to look super defined 12 months of the year, all year round, 365 days. And I show you from my practice and also give you a few more of those celebrity dieting tips that isn't realistic. It's not what most people do. No matter who you see on the cover of the magazine, it's not what they're doing. So what I do is I give you my private clients tips for exactly what I recommend, and I even do myself. Definitely check out that episode if you didn't. It's quick, it's right to the point, and I know that you'll be able to implement it right away in your own life. All right, first question is from Katie S. Katie's asking, I have a body image disorder and I don't feel dieting or weighing myself to be helpful. How else can I lose weight? All right. Excellent question. We work with this all the time. I work with it. Our personal trainers work with it. I'm at our wellness studio. Julia Hayes, our nutritionist, also works with clients and a lot of women specifically. Men have body image disorders as well. So please don't believe that this is, strictly for women just because Katie is asking this question. It does go across both sexes, and also with a lot of men, we're seeing a lot of muscle dysmorphia, meaning that kind of no matter what great shape they're in, they don't ever feel like they're in great enough shape. So we work really with everyone, and we look at deeper underlying root causes for this as well. Different mineral imbalances, different vitamin deficiencies. So Katie, please look into that. Look into at least a hair tissue mineral analysis, and then potentially into maybe some hormone-based testing or organic acid testing that will look for bacterial overgrowth. I mean, we've already shown that fungal overgrowth and bacterial overgrowth in the gut affects the way, basically how our brain thinks. It literally does. It's affected in depression and anxiety, all of these things. So Katie, please look deeper into this as well. But I do agree with you that weighing yourself and feeling like you're dieting is not going to be helpful. So what's my advice to you? My advice to you is focus just on eating good, healthy, clean foods. Don't worry about going low carb or keto or high carb or vegan. I just want you to focus on eating whole foods, good foods in their natural state. The other thing I recommend is that a lot of people, maybe in your position, Katie, as well, they also enjoy doing smoothies because it has that feeling that it's a really nutritious thing. So you're doing something great for your body, of course, but you can also get that sweet taste. You can get that taste of fruit, and you can put in good veggies in there, and you don't feel like you're depriving yourself of a lot of those like sugary snacks that you might want. So that's been a huge recommendation, of course, in my practice. It works fantastically well. But really, I do know where you're coming from. I understand this, and I do agree with you that we can't just give one diet, one plan for everyone. And so you might not be a person who weighs themselves on Mondays and Fridays like I typically recommend. We don't need to do that. You're going to, what my goal for you, Katie, is I want you to feel healthy. I want you to feel like you're doing something great for your body and great for yourself, great for your mind. So just focus on those good, healthy foods in their whole form. So you're not going to have the breads, you're not going to have the pastas, the things like that. You're going to focus on, and this isn't eliminating starches completely for you. You might want to keep in things like rice or quinoa or sweet potatoes or things like that. That might be totally fine and something that you're looking to do. Fill up on good, nutritious food. I know that's going to help you in both your body and mind in the long run. Okay, Aubrey D is up next. Can you really not lose body fat and gain muscle at the same time? Okay, so Aubrey's asking the kind of age-old question that if you're trying to build muscle, you really shouldn't be trying to lose body fat. Now, I do agree with this question. I do agree with basically his assumption that that's a really challenging thing to do. However, it's actually very easy to do in the untrained person. So meaning like if we get someone to come to us for a workout program and they haven't been exercising in a while, it's actually really easy for us for the first 12 to 16 weeks to put on muscle and lose body fat at the same time. Now, no one believed that this used to be able to be possible, but over the past decade, we have plenty of research showing that it is possible. And you can even gain muscle or even not lose muscle on an 800 calorie a day diet. Now, I don't recommend an 800 calorie a day diet to anyone, but it has been shown now with this proper strength training based program or resistance based training program, you will not necessarily lose that muscle. So here's the thing, Aubrey. I would recommend doing 3 to 4 days a week of resistance based weight training. So that's going to keep your muscle on. That's going to keep you building muscle, and then work on doing intermittent fasting or eating good, healthy, nutritional food and taking down your overall starches at least at dinner time. And that will work. Now, I want to leave. So yes, you can absolutely do it. Don't let anyone tell you they can't. But it is much more efficient. I do have to be honest with you. It's much more efficient to try to gain as much size and muscle as you can and want to by eating a little bit of a surplus of carbohydrates and protein and fat to make sure your body has everything that it needs, and then working on losing the body fat. That is absolutely the easiest and best approach, and it's been around for hundreds of years. That's how people have always done it for at least 150 years since bodybuilding and strongman type events have been around. It's the best way to do it. But yes, you can still put on some muscle and lose body fat as much as you want as well. Okay, Sandra P is up next. Sandra is asking, what's your favorite fruit for weight loss? Okay, great question. Basically, just personal recommendation. I'll tell you, it's hard for me to choose my favorite fruit, but if I did have to choose one, it would be wild blueberries. And the reason is I love wild blueberries. I go to Maine quite a bit. I love Maine. Obviously from Boston. That's where my practice is. I live in the city, so I'm definitely a city person. And for me to literally retreat to Maine and just have some quiet time is absolutely fantastic. I love it. And Maine is home to wild blueberries. They have super high in antioxidants. They're so good for you. Another reason why I love blueberries as well is very few people are allergic to them or have a food sensitivity to them, because I test hundreds of people. And the other part of that is I do a lot with GI dysfunction. At least half of my practice is helping people with SIBO, high yeast, candida, fungal markers, colitis, Crohn's, everything digestively that you could possibly imagine. And blueberries is a food that typically does not affect those things. The only thing that blueberry is really not good for would be if someone has high oxalates. However, I'm not a person who eliminates a lot of high oxalate foods, or at least not all of them. And the reason is that oxalates are a symptom of a deeper condition. You don't just end up with high oxalates. It doesn't work that way. You have to look at the stress process in the body, the fight or flight-based response, sympathetic nervous system drive, your body pulling calcium into the bloodstream, lower levels of magnesium. There's so many different levels. High levels of yeast can cause high level of oxalates. So you have to look at the deeper underlying causes, and I can assure you that just eating high oxalate food, yes, you might be someone who's more sensitive to them, but you certainly don't need to eliminate them. So that's my favorite fruit, I would say. But what's the best one for weight loss? Well, the best one for weight loss, blueberries obviously is fantastic for that because you can use them in your smoothies. But I would have to say cherries. So cherries are low glycemic. And the other reason I picked them for why they are best for weight loss is because you can have a bowl of cherries, but it takes you a while to eat that bowl of cherries, which means you're probably going to be more satiated. So one, they're lower on that sugar index, that glycemic index. And two, they have pits in them. So you always want to buy your cherries with pits in them. Of course, you need to buy them. It's really important to buy your cherries organic because they're sprayed, they're heavily sprayed, and the pesticide is actually going to seep into the skin, and so you're just going to be eating pesticide, which is a neurotoxin. I mean, we can't go gentle on pesticides. Pesticides literally are neurotoxins that build up in your system over time and cause some serious health conditions. So please, when you're purchasing berries, they really have to be organic. Cherries are low glycemic, and since they have a pit in them, it takes you longer to eat them. And when it takes you longer to eat a fruit, it's more enjoyable, and you can eat them a little bit slower. So cherries are my number one pick as a weight loss fruit. There are so many great ones, but if you're challenging me to pick one, that's my pick. Hopefully you enjoyed that answer and all of them today. I always enjoy answering every one of your questions every single week. Thank you again for tuning into the Cabral House Call. Before you go, I wanted to make you aware that as a loyal listener to the Cabral concept, I want to make sure I'm always providing with great real-world usable content and rewarding you with listener-only specials. So for the month of April, my goal is to help you involve more of your family and friends and even coworkers in their quest to lose weight and get well. And I believe there is no better way to do that than through the Dr. Cabral Detox. You lose 5 to 10 pounds in your first 7 days and improve your overall well-being, guaranteed. So this month, I'm going to take $20 off the 14 or 21-day Dr. Cabral Detox so that you can share the 14-day with one friend or family member and the 21-day with 2 friends or family members. It's more motivating to do the detox with someone else, and I know you'll both be happy you did. Come join our Dr. Cabral Detox community and change your body, change your life. To take your $20 off, just enter the promo code APRIL20, all lowercase, at checkout.